Okay. Okay. Oh, come on, Facebook. Okay, I'm just going to share the video. Put in the create a family group. Just putting in our live notifications. And hopefully I said I was going to stick that down, didn't I? Okay. Let's see if Facebook lets anyone see this one. I have a couple of photos to choose from. Let's pop them up there. Have a few bits and pieces, and it's all based on this chipboard. Let's see if anyone makes it to class. Is Facebook going to share it? On the way to the footy again. Awesome, Deborah. How are you? Thank you, Kelly. You're most welcome. Yes, today was great, the video. Kelly's saying thank you for the video today. It worked out pretty good. So it looks like we're going to be all right. Hello, Chrissy. Hello, Cheryl. Hello, Karen. Yeah. So it looks like it's going to work. So we had our release or our reveal and release of Very Vintage today. Monday we will do the reveal and release of the rice papers because there's a lot of those. But I'll just show you the paper now. Hello, Jacqueline. If you missed it, there is a link to the collection up above in Facebook and down below in YouTube. Hello, Diana. How are you? I have to look back behind me to see the YouTube comments. This is paper 1. And this is paper 2. I think you'll find it's a pretty versatile collection. I'm very happy with it. And then paper 3. Paper 4. First of the fussy cuts. Paper 5. With the shrooms. And paper 6. Naomi John loves the bow. Expect to be using the bow in a couple of weeks' time when she does classes with it. Okay, so this is one of the Very Vintage new chipboards that was released today, and it's blooming beautiful. It's a C3 size, so that means it's 4.5 by 6. Yeah, 4.5 inches by 6 inches. And yes, I am going to make one that's just all frames. These nice little frames. Okay, so I wanted to show you how to use the chipboard. I don't know if we've used the new chipboard in a class yet. Just not sure. I watched the video while my client was sleeping. Love all the new products. Awesome, Deborah. Thank you. Hello, Paula. I watched the video after work and I ordered the collection. Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you, Cheryl. And nothing over the back there. Rightio. So we've got this blooming beautiful, and then I've got like some color cuts. These are the vintage florals. I've got a fancy pattern. I've got a canvas leaves from Flower Power. There is no real rhyme or reason. I think I did find a theme in all this. I've got 2 of Fairy Tale Princess paper 1, I think. I think there's 2 of it in this pile. Yep, there are. So there's 2 of Fairy Tale Princess paper 1. see if you can pick up the theme. I've got a Happy Land number 4. I've got a Happy Land white flowers, 6-petal flowers pussycat. I've got a Happy Land number 5. I've got 2 of Happy Land number 1. So 2 of number 1. I've got 2 of number 2. I've got a Happy Land number 6. Don't know, that's a bit left of field. I've got a Happy Land number 3. Oh, I've got another Happy Land number 5. I've got a Cutest Garden. Now, it says Cutest Farm, but remember, when it says Cutest Farm and it's got a gnome, it's Cutest Garden. Yes, I made a typo. I make mistakes. I am human. I design the paper. I design the barcodes. I make the mistakes. So I've got a Cutest Garden number 2, a Cutest Garden number 1, and then I've got a Boho Beauty number 3 and a Fairy Tale Princess number 2. Right, can anyone tell me what the theme may have ended up being? Hello, Carmen, how are you? Well, I was walking around the store grabbing paper randomly. Hello, Dee, how are you? Rightio. So, I think there's a theme. It's probably not obvious. It's quite likely not obvious. Okay, so I will make the kit for this one tomorrow, just so you know. So I think we're going to do, obviously we're going to do some painting because we are not leaving that raw. Not a huge fan of leaving chipboard raw. I do like the spots because they're a little different and they took me a long time to design. Very cold in Tassie. Cold in Tassie. Says Cindy. Hello, Cindy. Purple, yes. I think it's purple. I think I was attracted to purple. And I think this Blooming Beautiful actually makes me think purple. I don't know why. Karen says purple, so does Jacqueline. Of course, Jacqueline says purple because Jacqueline likes purple. Yes, it is my job to know the colours, you know, my customers absolutely love, and to know that Jacqueline's in the purple gang and Karen L is in the green tribe because gangrene is not a good thing. Okay. There's someone from Ballina calling Quentin. So he has left his phone here. I just discovered that before class. So what if we do... See, I think this would look quite good. Even though it's not from the same collection. This is from Cutest Farm. Nope. I just don't quite know. That spot's really busy. I like the spot. I like the idea of this spot, but I just don't know if the spot's just a fraction too busy. What if we put like a big piece of this lilac? Or a big piece of that in the middle? That's just way too busy doing that, isn't it? It just needs a block of blank, doesn't it? It just needs a big piece of plain on it. But I just don't know if the spots work with the Blooming Beautiful. I'm pretty sure they don't. I think that would look really nice. Yes, you didn't get a hold in, so just please live with it. Feeling lost. Oh, geez, I missed a million. Hello, Kathy. Hello, Karen. I love the chipboard set, especially that side where you can utilize the whole set on the page rather than scrounging around looking for the bits and pieces. Yes, I've spent a lot of time making sets that go together. Size. The spots page would be great with reasonable size purple smear over half to 3/4 of the paper. Yes, I do think so. My aquarium sprung a leak. Oh no! I have had a time of it. Catching the fish to put it down was quite an exercise. All the paraphernalia water is out and the tank is now upside down while we fix the cracked glass. Oh my gosh. Naomi and I broke a decor container last night, smashing an Easter bunny. A chocolate Easter bunny that had been in the freezer. She wanted me to crush it for her so she could eat it. I was a bit boisterous in the container. Love the spot, said Cindy. Hello, Tina. Okay. I think we're back on spots. I think you guys like the spots. I probably shouldn't use the spots because the spots aren't making me happy. But you know what? A challenge is a challenge is a challenge. Isn't that how it goes? Sometimes we need to challenge ourselves just to move forward. You know, that would probably look quite good. I think that would look really good. So, Blooming Beautiful. I have those 3 kids. I have that kid. I have that kid and I. And I do have this one of Naomi John in the shop. So this is a shop where we currently are now. That is not the carpet we have now. That's the carpet we originally put in. This was taken by the local newspaper when we moved, just not long after we moved premises. They wrote an article about us moving and the longevity of my business. Mind you, that was in 2012. My business is just a little bit older now. Yep. So she was 12 years old there. We could put... We actually could put a nice big... Could mount our photo with that. And then, do I have a heart here? Oh, I also have a lead for something. We could put a nice big like purple heart on that background. Like this. We could put a nice big piece of that on the background. Couldn't we? And then we'll use this bit down here, this peachy bit, to mat the photo. And then we'll bring those colours in when we put our title on And our title will have to sit sort of on here. What we might do is use some of the peach and the other colours on the title and then the little flowers. And we may not use fussy cut flowers with it. We might not. Let's do that. Okay. Something strange going on for me. I was here, then I lost it. Now when I click on the link, it takes me to this morning. Oh, no. Oh, Karen. You're here now. Oh. I'm going to say they've been doing some really strange stuff with our videos lately. No one got to see last Saturday. Well, no one could comment on last Saturday. So we've got this piece of Happy Land number 1. And there will be a kit, remember, for this, but I'm not doing it till tomorrow. So we're going to cut it down to 12 inches. So we've got part circles all the way around. These are meant to be even from side to side, but sometimes these things happen. They decide... Oh, I just knocked the video. I don't know where I knocked it to. So what happens is... You can see it's really close here. That's because whoever was cutting it thought that they'd like to see more of the circles at the top than at the bottom. And it depends on which bit's their favourite bit. And it is what it is. Okay, so we've cut that to 12 inches. So let's take this piece of Boho Beauty number 3 and let's cut that right along the edge of the barcode, because we're going to trace our circle on the other side. What we actually want to do is just make sure when we trace it on the other side, we don't accidentally have barcode in our finished piece. Sorry. Right. So let's turn it over. So purple's up this end. So purple, purple, purple. Check again. Yep, definitely purple. I actually think Karen is going to like Nature's Way. I think Karen's going to be the only person that buys Nature's Way because it's got a lot of green in it. And I'm freaking out because I don't often do a collection that's all one colour. I will be back. Need a shower, says Tina. Well, Tina was meant to be out playing with the sheep today when she was watching the video. So I dare say after going out and hanging out with the sheep all day, she probably does need a shower. But yes, I am sort of freaking out. I know Divided to Denim was one colour, but I am a bit concerned about how much green I've got in Nature's Way. There's brown and ginger. There's a tiny touch of mustard, but there's a lot of green. It's a lot of green. It is what I planned, but although I did... Oh, nothing like an 11th hour change, I did make a fundamental decision about my fussy cuts today. Yeah. So I really like what I've done. I asked Quentin his opinion, but then while I was asking his opinion, I had an epiphany and I went, what about this instead? And he said, yeah, that's better. So he thought he liked something along the way to that decision. But then, yeah, I was just mucking around, trying to get just, yeah, I wasn't happy. And Nature's Way is meant to have been finished before now, so I've got to go and change a whole heap of stuff and backpedal now that I've made a big decision to change things. So we could actually do it off to the side like that. That's a bit odd. Oh, I know. And then when we mat this photo, we're actually going to have a gappage. Maybe we go off to the side on that side and we put the photo here. Maybe I should have done a high heart. Okay. This was Hearts 2, number 11. It's an 11 inch, so it's 11 inches across, number 11. I'll work on converting the purple gang over to green for Nature's Way. Oh, hopefully you can. Okay, I'll need lots of Nature's Way. It will work with lots of photos. I think Nature's Way is actually going to be one of those collections that works with everything. And once again, I had way too many patterns. So I'm just going to tidy this up a bit. This is it's an oldish photo. So I've got, my photo is going to be like 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. So I need a 5 by 7 mat. Let's just rip that off there. So I need like a 7 by 5. And then we need to come up with a way to cover that. Yep. Yep. I don't know if no plan is a good thing some days. Okay. Oh yes, Hobbiton. It'd be perfect for New Zealand. Absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect for our New Zealand photos. Okay. So chipboard in the sheets. Please don't cut it apart with your fussy cutting scissors. Yeah, please don't cut it apart with your fussy cutting scissors. That is just too cruel on your fussy cutting scissors. You could paint all this in the sheet as it is, or you can just snip it apart. And all I do is I get my, and you know, these are Timmy's, but these are crappy old Timmy's. And I just come along. There are a lot of these on some of the sheets, and the little tabs snip really nicely and easily. I spend a lot of time getting the tab size right. And then I spent time while I was on holiday. Well, I wasn't on holidays, but I was kind of working. When we were on the cruise in New Zealand, I spent time every day working on getting the designs ready to do this and to group them into the right places so that the sheets actually make sense. But before I left, we actually did the experiment with the tabs, getting the tabs just right. Okay. We all know I'm a little nutty and a little OCD. I have a brown coloured pencil, And what I do is I hold it, and from the back, I do colour the little cut bits. I have, yeah, I just have some sessions that just cannot be, yeah, dealt with other than just following through. So I do this from the back so that if I slip, I don't get pencil on the front, just in case I'm going to paint it white, or I'm going to, and I'm just using along the edge of the pencil, the coloured pencil. Mine's a Prismacolor pencil. It is one of my art pencils. Yes. I might have some brown ones at the shop still. I'm not sure. But yeah. That's just me. I am me. We all know that. But I try and make the little tabs go in places where it's easy to put them. I also have to make sure I put enough tabs that when we cut it, it holds together nicely. Probably should have done one of these earlier because it's a little time consuming. There is a lot less waste doing these. Oh, we don't have many sheets muck up. Sometimes when we cut the prototype, it's like, oh dear, I missed a bit. Or there's a flower that falls off. But it does mean I can do some pretty, I've actually got a sheet coming out next week. Maybe next week or maybe the week after. But I do have a sheet coming out soon, and it's got the word soulmates on it. And the S is not actually attached, but it looked weird when I tried to attach it. So the S is not actually attached, and it's really lovely, but I couldn't sell that without having it on a sheet. It does look really nice. Hope everyone likes it because it's a bit of a pricey font. We just don't tell Quentin how much we pay for fonts. Commercial licenses for fonts are a little bit different to images. Okay. So I'm thinking we're going to use a fair few of these, and maybe we have a look at whether the purple flowers from the Fairy Tale Princess paper with the big fussy cuts, how there's all those purple flowers on it. I wonder if they will work really well with this. And then we color these flowers like in like the yellow, like that sunflower yellow color, and a bit of peach. Oops, sort of edited that one there. Only 2 flowers to go, and then I'll have a look at the comments. Sorry, I'm not trying to be ignorant and ignore you all. I'm just trying to make sure I watch what I'm doing. Using scissors here. I don't want to cut myself. I have form for cutting myself with scissors. If Leslie is watching, she can attest to that. And then you can use this little frame if you want. Don't know if I'm going to use the pencil on all of them. I usually actually sit on the lounge chair with Amelia and we watch something kiddified. Gotta go, we've arrived. Oh, there we go. Enjoy the footy. Hello, Aileen. And I watch something with Amelia and I snip out the chipboard and then I use a pencil on the edges. It's kind of like fussy cutting. So if we do we do like these little tiny star type ones, these little ones. We do them in the pink, and then we do these ones in the yellow, and then we'll make our leaves in a combination of the greens. And then our title, we might do in the peach. So there is a bit of peach in her dress. Okay. Still thinking about the pencil thing. Let's get my sidekick. When I tell you that I painted strawberries this week, hopefully that means you'll understand the state of my sidekick. Yep. I did. I painted strawberries. Okay, so I've got pastel blood orange and pastel cantaloupe. So I'm using the pastel set. Oh, and let's chuck in a bit of that pastel mushroom. Bit of shroomy colour. And what we say we're going to use on these ones, we're going to use like a yellowy colour. So let's go with pastel marigold. And pastel taupe. And then green. Green's in here. Green doesn't come out with two things high. Pastel chartreuse is kind of going to work. Pastel, 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 pastel. And then what's this? This is from the matte, the satin set. It's medium green. It's pretty intense. And then I've got a turquoise glitter. Do we reckon we add glitter? Maybe. And this is pastel bubblegum. Obviously, I like the pastel paint set, pastel hot pink. And these pastel colours only come in the pastel set. And then let's add pink. I'll be back in half a second. Okay. There's no yellow glitter over there. I wonder where it's gone. Okay, I've just grabbed a turquoise and a viridian. This turquoise here only comes in this size tube or in big pump bottles. I've got a sap green, I've got a metallic chartreuse, I've got a green glitter and a pale pink glitter. I'm going to sit them over there because they're probably not going to get used. I have got my Manky paint palette. Yeah. It's reusable. It says disposable on the packet because look. Now let's see if we can get this bit out. This is an image on this well here. She used that green. I think that was her. What you do is you just get it and you peel it out. Let's see if we can get it started. Because it's glossy, and all you do, oh, here we go. It's gone over the edge a little too far. And you peel this out. And then you use that in your mixed media. See, look at that. Isn't that amazing? That's actually called a skin. So when artists talk about skins, that's a skin. I'll be back in a second. I'll show you a skin in use. So she hasn't used the skins in the colour they are. She's actually painted over the skins. So this is one of Naomi John's paintings in progress. And you can see this is out of the paint palette. That's the shape of the palette shape here. And that is the skin. And she's made them into like flowers. Where am I going to put that now? Better put it back. Oh, no, hello, Angela, and hello back again, Tina. Tina's back. Rightio. Sorry, just school messenger things blowing up. Okay, so let's put that skin over there. Got an empty one. Rightio. Oh, we don't want to be here for 50,000 years, do we? But let me just say up front, my name is Alicia and I love painting. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this green. So we want just like a dark green. You can use a sap green. We're going to use this matte medium green. It's just a dark, obnoxious looking green. And I've got water. And I've got my favourite brush. A little bit of water with it so that it doesn't get clog up in it. And I'm just going to get some colour on here. And I'm going to continue to move them around so they don't get stuck to my board. Quentin did clean my sidekick on Sunday. So I've got some of the, I've got these facing different directions. My leaves, I've got two facing one direction and one facing the other. So they're not all identical. Let's give that a move and that a move. A bit more. Might have a bit much green on my palette. It's okay. But we make skins on our palettes, so probably need a second coat. So let's come back through with it not quite as watery now that we've got it prepped up. We don't want it to get too wet because it could, we could damage it and pulpify it. Not technically a proper term, but we're going to use that. Making sure I don't get any down in the grooves. Right, let's get my paint cloth. Yep, I know it's yucky. It's an old nappy. It's a work of art in itself. Okay. So we're kind of mimicking these colours here. So they're a little softer than what our green is currently. Let's add a tiny touch of our mint. We only need a little tiny bit. And our pastel chartreuse, which is, let's unscrew that because that one's nearly empty. Oh, we only want a tiny bit. Just give me a tiny bit. There we go. Okay, so while our paint's wet, it's good to do this. So I'm just going to, and don't be afraid, it's going to mix. And remember, it's going to look a little ugly at times. You know, you don't just grab a brush and put one color on, put on a second color, and it's like perfect straight up. Like you do have to work a tiny bit, but not a lot. It's not like it's hard work or anything. If you come to our classes in Brisbane on the 24th and 25th of May, I think it's Sunday's class, we're going to paint strawberries. Yep, we are painting strawberries. So then let's get a little bit of our minty colour and put it not on every leaf, you know. It's got a little bit more blueness to it. And then we'll go back to our dark colour. Oh, we're sticking a bit. And then coming from the other end, we're just gonna blend back. And I'm barely touching. Okay, picked up a bit more light there than I wanted, but I'm barely touching the surface. There we go. We're blending as we go because wet on wet. So this is a wet on wet blend. Okay. Let's leave them for a second. What did we decide? We're going to make these ones yellow. These ones. I would really like to see this pastel marigold in a big tube. I'm just saying. It's sort of similar to the colour called Diary Yellow from Golden Artist Colours that I use a lot in my paintings. Put a bit too much paint there. And I'm sort of patting this on, and I'm okay with it being a little lumpy. Going to give us a bit of texture. Right. So let's, on a couple of our leaves, bring in just a touch of our yellow. Yep. Yep, I know. That wasn't in my plan, was it? Let's get a bit more solid yellow this time. Not fully solid, still a bit of water in it. Can someone leave a comment on Facebook? I'm just a little concerned that Facebook's not working. I've got real concerns because we've only got 8 people watching and we usually have like 38. Maybe it's me. Let's use this pastel bubblegum. Acrylic paint dries, so that brown's dry. I can't remember what I used it on. Did I use that this week? No. But that brown is dry. Bit of water. It's a bit too much paint up there. I could have based these in white, but I know I'm going to put enough paint on them not to need to bother with white. Does that make sense? Like, I know that I'm going to put enough paint on these little guys that I don't need to worry. My title might be a different story, but if I put enough on there, I do like to make a nice crisp white title, but with white paint pen. It does look good. And white pens are not all made equal. We know that as crafters. Oh, thank you. Test, comment, it's working. Okay, cool. Just thank you guys. Yeah, it does, yeah. It does get a bit glitchified. So this is where we're at with our leaves. And let's put a little bit more of that over. Just putting that pastel chartreuse. And yes, I'm going over the other colours, but that's okay because they actually show up through, like they show through. We can see which ones had the yellow because they're different. And then let's put a little bit more of that because that makes them a bit lighter. Just putting a bit of mint on a few of them. And then we're going to do this again with our dark colour coming this way. And you will find you get a much, and this time I'm just coming a little further. I'll just show you. So we do get a really nice soft depth. Like we get a soft colour, but we've got a really nice depth of colour. It's not just all one colour.
I've just started missing in, Mum.
Yeah. Can you see if Maddie wants to go out? Sorry, I do stop talking when I... Yep. when I start really painting. Sorry. Okay, these ones have got a little bit more texture. This one's got a bit more blendy on it. Just need to, yeah. Let's see how that goes. I just need to come back at that one. I got it a bit wet. Okay, I do like the texture we've got on there. Okay, let's get a bit more yellow on these yellow ones. And I'm going to put it sort of thick on the petals. Oh, we got glued down. Right. So this is called Pastel Blood Orange, and it was called Pastel Pumpkin, but they changed the name. Put a sticker on it. So I'm just gonna put a tiny bit there. And we're just gonna pat a little bit coming out from the center. And then just pat it around to blend it. So we end up with that. So we go from that to that. So we're just, you know, bringing a bit in around the center. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to pat it around to blend it. Right. Put a little bit more. Wipe the brush off so that we're not transferring colour, we're just blending. There we go. Oh gosh, I'm nearly an hour in and all I've done is fluffed around with some paint. So now what I'm going to do is get a little bit of this green and I'm just going to dry brush it over here a bit, just to get a similar texture. There we go. It's a bit dark. I remember acrylic paint dries dark, but it's not bad. It's not completely different. Okay, little pink flowers. Let's put a bit more pink on. Oh, I've got to do the centers of those. Okay, nearly done. Two and a bit to go. Hello, Debbie. Hello, Helen. Oh, sorry, Helen, I missed your comment. Okay. Oh, we need to do our centers. So let's get like a brush, different brush. And let's get a bit of the blood orange and a bit of the yellow. So blob the yellow in the middle and blob the blood orange on top. Like that. What's this one going to have? This one's going to have a bit of a mix. Bit of our two colours, like that. Okay. So this is pastel hot pink. Yeah. This is pale pink. I need a tiny bit of it. And we're just gonna kind of just dry brush a bit on the tips in, well, it's not dry brushed on the outer tip, but and just drag it in a little. Not got lots of paint on there. Sometimes I think I enjoy the process of making things like this more than putting the page together. I have no idea what I'm doing with this page. Just so you know, not sure it's going to look any good, but I really like what I've done with the chipboard. Because don't forget, my name's Alicia and I like painting. Oh my gosh, how many of these did I put on the sheet? Sometimes I just go nuts and put too many things on a sheet. Sometimes I really can't fit anything else that goes with it on the sheet. I do have a child that's not going to go to bed until I finish class, so I probably can't do class until midnight. If you're in Gladstone tomorrow, don't forget it's Super Saturday. Or if you're going to come to Gladstone to visit, 9 to 4. Hang out at your favourite place. Rightio. Last one. And then what we might do is we might just end of our paintbrush and put a little sunshine yellow. Pastel marker. Oh, I tipped it over. There we go. Rightio. Nothing in nature is perfect. So it's okay. I just picked up one of them on my finger. Rightio. Okay. Where are we at? Need to put that paint palette somewhere. Let's just put our little painted bits on here. Oh, we haven't even done the title. Oh, dearie me. Okay. Maybe we need to do the title. Oops, got punched up. Wow. What are we going to do with our title? I thought the peachy colour, didn't I, from our photo mat? Hello, Heather. Late in to watch, but I'll catch up. Awesome. So a bit of a combination of like that pastel blood orange and the pink, I think. So pink and pastel blood orange. Let's grab a bit of this yellow. And we don't necessarily want it all to be one colour. And then we're just gonna... And I find that when I'm doing a custom mix that's not all one colour, that I've just loosely mixed it. This could have probably had a bit of white on it first. Should be right. I find it's better to jump around. Otherwise, it can end up all looking a bit blendy across. And just getting colour on with this first layer. and making sure it's thin enough that, so this is a very fine chipboard. We don't want it too watery to make it, to destroy it, but we want it thin enough that we don't get it in the grooves, in the intricate parts of our title. Oh, that's a bit thick. Mammy John is doing a 9-hour shift at Coles today. She's been, yeah. She might have to start telling them she can't work certain hours because she's been pretty flat out with, we've been flat out at work, but she's been really flat out with uni this week. Got assessments coming out of her ears. I suppose so does Noah. Noah's very busy with assessments right now. She's actually got an exam coming up, I think. Anyhow, I'll show you that. That's not bad. Like when we look at that, it's pretty good. We'll put another coat on it in a minute. Look at that. Let's get a bit more of a shuffle. These aren't all stuck. Nope. Set that there. Yep. Like it that way. Got to cover that bit there. And where was that paper we talked about? If you missed what circle it was, what heart it was, it's an 11-inch hearts too. So what about these flowers? This is a piece of Fairy Tale Princess paper 1. Just going to rough cut out and when I fussy cut, I move the paper, not the scissors. I have to be careful not, and if you have, so I have hyperextension and hypermobility with my joints. So you've just got to be careful when you've got something like that, or arthritis as well, not to hold the scissors too tight, like not to grip them for dear life, because that's where some of the pain and hurt actually comes from, is the holding the scissors too tight. You've got to try and be as relaxed with the scissors as you can, and I edit as I go. See, that's not bad. Those leaves are pretty bright, aren't they? They might need to be toned down. Okay. So you've always got to keep in mind that when you paint something, it will dry a little darker than what you've painted it. These are quite a bit darker, but we'll hit those leaves with something in a minute. I'll just fussy cut these other 3 flowers. Not holding this close enough to me. I can't really see it well enough. By doing little edits as I go, the flowers all look a little different as well. Last one. Thank you, Helen. I think we might distress our photo mat and our heart. I think that'll give it a nice softness. Distressing can make things look really grungy, but they can also give projects a softness. Does depend on the colors and what you put with distressed items, whether it makes it look grungy or whether it just gives it a nice softness to the edge. Because the white it exposes brings a certain lightness. I know it's hard to see what I'm painting. I know it's difficult. A lot of these techniques are really a lot easier to teach face to face, but I'm hoping that I'm communicating it well enough that you have a go and give it a try. Okay, let's cut the middle out of this photo mat. Waste not, want not. Even though we've actually got to patch it. I definitely need to write on this page that it's Naomi John. It could be mistaken for Amelia Ann, for sure. So I'm going to stick these 2 sides on first because my photo mat's a bit flexy. Probably didn't need tape all the way to the end there. And then let's put some tape on the back of our heart. Oh, look at that. My little friend's been building some puppets. Our Japanese sister city exhibitions on at the art gallery at the moment, and our school goes. So Millyanne had a great day there, but she also loves learning about Japanese crafts. So what do we think about that there? Rightio. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my page around. Stuck one little piece. I'm actually going to stick this on, and then now my design board's a little bit manky at the moment. It's got lots of gold paint on it from a project I've been working on. So it's for one of my face-to-face classes coming up in Brisbane, and yes, there is a lot of gold paint on my design board, so we just have to kind of visualize past the gold paint to see what we need to see. Yeah, I know. It's going to get cleaned this weekend. It got cleaned last weekend too. Well, that will show up there. Right. So let's just get our leaves. Need to give one more coat to our title, and we just need to deal with our leaves. So I've got this. It's not even in here. Let me go and find it. I've got a pearl paint. Get off there now. Go on off now. I've got this white pearl. Now it comes in the metallic. It's a metallic white pearl. It comes in a metallic set. You can also get the pearl white in the dimensional. This dimensional stuff needs to be watered down a little tiny bit because it's quite thick and chunky, and it gives a little bit chunkier effect. But I've got this little, I'm going to put a tiny bit here. Just a tiny bit. Then I'm going to get my brush. A tiny bit of water. Not a lot of water. And I'm just going to glaze over my leaves. You can still see the detail I've painted into them, and I'm only going in one direction. When you go back in the other direction, it affects the shimmer. You can see it all still looks the same. It's still got the same. But they do shimmer a little bit, and a little bit of shimmer means that they don't look as dark or harsh. Rightio. Let's get back into our pinky paint. Let's get a bit more of that, and we've got a bit more pink over here. Oh, that's a bit more peachy this time. Don't want much paint, I only want the tiniest bit. We don't want every brush load to be exactly the same colour. We want it to be a little different, and so we blend from colour to colour. We want a bit more of this peachy yellowness down here. And we'll put a little bit up in here. More pink. There we go. And yes, I do. I'm a bit rough on my brushes. But if you knew how many things that brush had painted, I think it's not too bad. Rightio. There we go. See, they're a little bit better now. Something like that. Something like that. I need more purple flowers. Where's another batch? I can just cut out a batch. Okay. Okay. Probably should have cut some flowers before class, but I had no idea where I was going with this. Okay, that's those two. We might see if we don't need those. Just trying to make sure I keep my paint for some classes set aside. Rightio. What do we think? We just need to cover up that little gap there and then tighten this up. And what we might do, okay, put that there. Just need to tidy up a little. See, I do get a little bit too excited about the paint. Rightio. Oh, I left one. So let's come in about an inch and down about 3 inches. Oh, I didn't put tape on it. I'm going to put my photo flat because my photo's got a little bit of an issue and has to go underneath other things. got a little bit of hole in the photo mat. I could have got a second piece of paper, but it's only a little tiny area that's exposed. Picture on. And on this one of our little flowers, we're just gonna pop up here. So I've cut the flower in half. Deary me, having glue issues. So we've got a part flower here. I'm going to set it there on my photo. Then we're going to get our flowers and we're just going to build our corner back in. Like that. So let's stick our leaves in and then we'll put some of our flowers on chippy strip just to raise them up a touch. Too close to the edge. We don't want it out too far, but we just need it out just far enough. Give us space. Yes, that is Naomi John in the photo. Just after we moved into our current shop premises. So we've got this nice big flower. Let's actually put 2 bits on it. Then I'm going to just pop this one in here to cover that gap. On this one I'm going to put some chippy strip on. Yeah, so the local paper did an article on us moving and the longevity of the business. And you know what? 12 and a half years down the track, let's put a bit of chippy strip on this one. I don't even know if that newspaper's got an office in town anymore. I got bought out and that was it. Okay, So I'm going to turn it on its side. So at the top of our side kick, we have a glue strip. Just going to use it there. Because this is what it's good for. Picking things up, patting them in the glue. I'm going to put pink flower there. I think we'll tuck a purple one in there.
Yes, Mum?
I didn't say anything to you.
Oh,
Did you think you were in trouble?
yeah.
Because you're up late. She thought she might have been in trouble for being out of bed still. Oh, you know. Okay, so I'm just spreading the glue and making sure I don't have thick bits of glue everywhere. And then I don't know if this is going to fit. Oh, well, it can go over the flowers, can't it? How do we put it there? Go there. Let's just put it over the flowers. And this title is, yeah, one of those that straight is not straight. Doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Let's get a little more glue out. When Quentin cleaned my sidekick last weekend for me while I was creating, he goes, "What is this yucky stuff you've been painting with at the top of this sidekick?" And I'm like, "That's glue on the glue spot." And he goes, "Oh yes, it does say glue spot, doesn't it?" Oh, I love these little flowers. I think I'm just going to have to buy another sheet of this just for these little flowers. Oh, I've got one more. Do I tuck it in under there? No, I don't. Oh, I've got one more little flower. Just cleaning the glue off the little flower. Right. I had a flower left over. Okay. Let's put that there. Put that there. Put that away. Look at that. Put that away. See, it looks nice and tidy now. Oh, and then we've got a half bit. Let's put that there. Blooming beautiful. Just make this stick. Stick, 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 stick. There we go. So we've got that bit up there. And then we've got this. We made a peach with a mixture of our colours on our palette. And then we've got some pink and some yellow. Put the flower above the I in the word. Oh, there's a little heart there. Well, I could have done that, couldn't I, Karen? Look, go back. And then we've got pops of yellow. We didn't put the yellow on too thick, so it's got this sort of like rustic mustardy yellow to it. So if you put a coat of white underneath your yellow, it's actually going to be a different yellow. Again, it's going to be more this yellow. Oh, where am I going to write this? And I'm not a fan of my writing, so I go over it twice so it doesn't look there we go. And I've got the photo credit on there. The photographer who used to work with the Observer. There you go. Same photographer that took our photos for our flip house. We sold the house before it went on the market. Someone saw the photos. Thank you, Helen. Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you, Debbie. But yeah, I could have put the flower there, couldn't I? Done now. I've got a spare flower. I am quite sure this is going to go in the Japanese diorama that's being made out on the lounge chair currently. Because I can tell you that's what she's been doing while I've been doing this. I think I knocked the video. The page is straight, but that cover's not. That set of drawers is not straight anymore. But yeah. So thank you for coming along. I will put the kit up tomorrow morning. Now this has turned out pretty good because obviously the photos taking center stage, and because we've got a lighter mat that matches our title, draws the attention to the photo, but it's a very busy background and can be very hard to make a busy background look good. and to help photos stand out, but the heart just does just enough. I like the colour combo. Looks great. Lovely coloured page. Thank you, Karen. So, yeah, I'll make a kit in the morning and we'll put that up. I've got to go and try and wrangle a night owl into bed. Very interesting there. And I'm sure Quentin will ring me later on Mammy John's phone and go, do you know where my phone is? I think I've lost it. And it's on my desk. So, yeah. We will see you tomorrow morning for our weekly roundup. Don't forget it's Super Saturday in Gladstone at our store tomorrow from 9 till 4. It's just $10. Sorry, no kids. And, yeah, we'll see you in the morning. Never know what we'll be talking about or doing at our weekly roundup. You just never know. Thank you, Debbie. Good night. Thank you, Cheryl. So take care, everyone. I'll just check YouTube. Thank you, Margaret. Hello, Margaret. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you all. And thank you anyone whose comments I missed. And hello and thank you to everyone who was here and didn't comment. We love you all just the same. So thank you all. Take care. Stay safe. And we'll see you all soon. Bye. Thank you.